So the New Orleans Saints are hiring Brandon Staley to become their new defensive coordinator. Kellen Moore and Staley actually have a relationship. Kellen Moore worked with Brandon Staley with the Chargers when Staley was the head coach there. So there is a connection. And whenever a first time head coach is taking a new job, I always like when they bring former head coaches to be the coordinators for that team. And that's exactly what Brandon Staley is going to be in New Orleans. I do think this is a good hire. I know Brandon Staley was kind of a meme there for a hot minute when he was the Chargers head coach. And obviously, he wasn't a great head coach with the Chargers, but as a defensive coordinator, his resume is pretty good. And I definitely think it's a good addition and a good hire. If you're a Saints fan, let me know what you think about this news. Are you happy? Are you not happy about it? And how are you feeling heading into this offseason? Let me know in the comments below. Now, when he was the head coach, Brandon Staley of the Chargers, he finished with a 24-24 record over 3 years, so exactly 500. Not bad, man. Not bad. Definitely a lot worse win-loss records out there for sure. And this past year, he was an assistant head coach with the San Francisco 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, so he has been busy. And for the offensive coordinator position for the Saints, Kellen Moore has added former Eagles quarterbacks coach Doug Nussmeier. So he's stepping in to be the OC. And this past year, the Saints defense obviously wasn't that good. Hence why their record wasn't the best. And of course, with their quarterback position kind of being up in the air. But a year ago, the Saints defense allowed 141.4 rushing yards per game. And the defense was ranked 31st in the league. So a lot of improvement there, a lot of work to be done for Brandon Staley and company. Now, just quick thoughts on the Saints' kind of future. Kellen Moore, definitely an interesting hire. I definitely think they could have done a lot worse. There was some interest with Mike McCarthy potentially going to New Orleans. I don't really think he would have fit the Saints' timeline because even though the owner has come out and said he's not interested in doing a rebuild, this is a rebuilding team. It's just not a high caliber roster. So to add an older head coach in Mike McCarthy, I just don't think it would have worked that well. But then again, you are taking a chance with Kellen Moore, first time head coach, but significantly younger, and hopefully he's there for the long term. So just as far as hiring Kellen Moore, I don't hate it, and the Saints head coach was definitely the least desirable job opening out of all the other head coaching openings. So that's why it took them the longest to hire Kellen Moore. I'm sure if the Saints had their pick of the litter, they would have hired Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn, but those two weren't interested. I can't really say I blame them. So will Kellen Moore be a good head coach? Potentially, maybe, but it's definitely an uphill battle for sure. He came out and said that Derek Carr isn't a lock to be the week 1 starter for the 2025 season, and I definitely think that's a good sign. I definitely think there should be a quarterback competition, or in my opinion, I think they should just move off of that contract immediately. That's what I would do if I was Kellen Moore or the GM of the Saints. But you let me know if you agree with me. But yeah, man, if this team wants to be sneaky competitive in the year 2025, they need to have a great draft. They need to have a low-key, sneaky, good free agency. Again, like when you're a rebuilding team like the Saints, not only would I recommend spending a lot, not only would I not recommend spending a lot in free agency, they're also in a very sticky salary cap situation where they really don't have a lot of money. So we'll have to wait and see what they decide to do in the next few months. As far as free agency, Chase Young is set to become a free agent. I would be really, really shocked if he re-signed in New Orleans because, like I said, they don't have a lot of money. And even though he's kind of a decent player, free agency is a period where players tend to get overpaid. And I feel like him and his agent will find himself a pretty good deal in the next few months. So he's probably gone. Juwan Johnson, also another free agent for the Saints. And besides that, I feel like they're not really losing a lot of key guys in this upcoming free agent period, which is a good thing because they wouldn't really have the ability to do so to re-sign them. 1 year from now, in the year 2026, Ryan Ramczyk, Cam Jordan, Taysom Hill, Demario Davis, the Honey Badger, Chris Olave, Foster Moreau are all pending free agents at this point in time. And Rashid Shaheed is also a free agent. So, they caught a break for this upcoming offseason. Not a lot of key free agents hitting the market, but next year, a lot of work to do, a lot of guys to re-sign. But out of all those guys I just mentioned, I doubt they'll really get the bulk of those guys back because they just don't have the capital to really do so. And it's a rebuilding team. You might see these guys traded in the middle of next season. You never know. But yeah, man, you let me know how you think the Saints will fare in the year 2025. Do you think there's any hope for them to be kind of a surprise team? It's kind of funny. Right before the season started in September, a lot of teams were picking the Saints to be this kind of underrated team with Derek Carr and whatnot. And they started off great, and then the wheels just quickly fell off. So maybe they could kind of replicate the short success they had again for the 2025 season. I'm not sure, but I just know that the Falcons are going to be good. The Buccaneers are always consistent. And the Panthers and Bryce Young, Canales, I feel like there's some optimism there. As far as the Saints go, I think the Kellen Moore signing is decent. No quarterback, not a lot on this roster. So I have them probably going to finish dead last for quite some time in the NFC South. But you let me know if you agree with me. If you made this far, please subscribe, like the vid. It would help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
Quarterbacks always love play-action passes. Why? Because it usually gives them a little more time to throw. When you get more time, you're going to make a better decision, and you're going to be more accurate.
Trying to fight through right up the middle of the field. And Ivory's met at the 37.
Nothing like a running back who fights for every extra yard. When you get that extra yard or two, what it does, it just creates better situations for your offense.
The Jets come out in the pistol. 2nd down and 2. The grab is made by Ivory. In the end, it picks up only a yard.
Well, they complete the pass, Jim, but doesn't get the first down. Sooner or later, you got to throw one down the field.
3rd and 1. This play call is for the fullback.
This next play comes from the 30.
Ivory lined up in the backfield. 1st down at the 30. Amaro with the reception. Amaro's tackled, but earns a new set of downs.
You got to be agile when you make these kind of catches, running these short drag routes across the field. That time we saw the agility of the receiver. Nice catch.
Looking across the middle, and incomplete as Marshall can't hold on.
Offense.
That penalty is, of course, going to be accepted by the defense. Double tight end formation. 1st and 20. It's Marshall. Marshall's met after a gain of 8.
You got to be able to adjust when you run these drag routes across the field. The throw cannot always be right on target. Can you reach behind, make the catch, and keep going full speed? That's the sign of a good receiver.
And he's forced to the ground.
Man, this defensive end, Jim, he is some talent. That time, good job, makes the move, shows the speed, and gets around there and gets the sack.
This drive now about to reach the 10th play of the series.
Doesn't like what he sees on the defensive side, so he is changing the play to the receivers by giving him hands.